Check, check. All right. All right, we're going to get going momentarily with our press conference ahead of Saturday, March 28th between Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman. So to all the media members, thank you so much for joining us. Please get in your seats as we are moments away from beginning our press conference. Thank you.
One-time Thurman is a legend in the ring.
I was raised for this.
But world champ Sebastian Fundora is towering above the competition.
Fundora, top of the world as the unified champion.
As they collide, can Thurman win a major world title one more time? Or will the towering Inferno stand tall in the air?
You're about to see a whole nother level of boxing.
It's Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. Saturday, March 28th, live on PBC on pay-per-view on Prime Video.
All right, it is great to be here at the legendary Avalon Theater here in Hollywood, but our focus is Saturday, March 28th from the home of boxing, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, as we have an incredible night of boxing presented by Premier Boxing Champions. It'll be for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Sebastian, the towering Inferno Fundora, will defend his crown against the former unified world champion Keith one-time Thurman. That is an explosive clash that headlines PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Fundora versus Thurman is going to deliver fight fans a clash of styles with an all-action 154-pound king and Sebastian Fundora taking on his most accomplished foe to date, and Keith one-time Thurman, who is looking to stamp his Hall of Fame legacy with the victory on Saturday, March 28th. Pre-sale tickets are available right now until 10 o'clock Pacific time through AXS.com. Use the code word PBC. Again, use the code word PBC. Pre-sale tickets are available until 10 o'clock tonight, AXS.com. Now, the public on sale is available tomorrow, beginning at 10 o'clock Pacific time through AXS.com. In addition to being available on Prime Video, you can get it on any traditional or cable satellite providers as well as ppv.com. The event is promoted by TGB Promotions along with Samson Boxing and sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. And now a man who's going to be promoting this event, who's done an amazing job promoting quality and world-class prize fighting around the globe. He needs his rightful place in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who knows boxing better than anybody in the business. Please welcome the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you very much, Ray. Well, I got to tell you, it's great to have this fight back on the schedule again. You know, we all know it was originally scheduled for October. We did a press conference out here. Both Keith and Sebastian were very nice and respectful of each other. Even during the face-off, Keith got a chair and we stood up, and that shit's over with now. Now it's time to go to war. The super welterweight division is the hottest division in boxing right now. Just this past weekend, there were a couple of titles that changed hands in the division, and right now the spotlight is shining brightly on the 154-pounders. And we've got the best 154-pound world champion right here with Sebastian Fundora, and we've got the best 154-pound world championship fight made right here with Fundora versus Thurman. Sebastian Fundora is a guy that just always brings it with his fan-friendly, all-action style. The fans always get what they want. They get blood, sometimes lots of blood, guts, and just pure brutality. You know, I said this about him at the last press conference. The scary thing about him is he seems to just keep getting better and better with each fight. And Keith Thurman, when he got the announcement the fight was postponed, he was not a happy camper. But he's here today, up here promoting another major pay-per-view event. Keith's a veteran, and he probably handled it better than most guys. He's had some setbacks in his career. We all know that Keith is just passionate about this sport. And he's obviously battle-tested. He's been in the ring with some of the best. And what I believe is, after what he's already accomplished at 147 pounds, being a unified world champion, with a big win on March 28th and becoming a two-division world champion, he's a lock to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So again, we're very excited about March 28th. We'll be announcing the undercard shortly. Like I said, the spotlight is shining on this division in 2026, and the winner of this fight is going to be in a great position moving forward as the WBC world champion. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Tom Brown. And now we want to bring up one half of our main event. But before we do that, this man has been in the corner of Keith one-time Thurman for quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting next to him, Mr. Tony Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Mr. Tony Morgan, who's been there with Keith Thurman for a while. And now we want to bring up the former welterweight unified world champion. He's one of the most accomplished fighters of this era. And as we mentioned, he unified 147 has wins over the likes of Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Robert Guerrero, and Mario Barrios, just to name a few. In March of last year, he endeavored up here to the super welterweight division, had no problem vanquishing Brock Jarvis in Australia by way of knockout, and will now look to add another major victory to his Hall of Fame case. Ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 31 wins, 23 of those coming by way of knockout against one defeat, proudly representing Clearwater, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Keith one-time Thurman. Keith.
I'm back. What's up, LA? What's up, everybody? Fight fans tuning in live from YouTube, man. What can I say, man? This fight was supposed to drop, but we had you wait for that beat, you know, like an EDM concert. You just never know when the beat's gonna drop, you know? So I'm so happy to be here, man. Sebastian, obviously, being a man of his word, wanting this fight, wanting to establish himself as one of the greatest champions and one of the toughest opponents for anybody to step up against. But, you know, if you look at our resumes, it's just a little different. Sebastian has defeated some great champions and some great fighters, but most of them had their spirits broken already. My spirit has never been broken. He's going to have to do something brand new come March 28th to break me down. We've already seen this man in absolute defeat. And that's what I mean when I talk about spirits being broken. Luckily, Sebastian has that grit, and he's rebuilt his spirit as he has accomplished some victories from the Tim Tszyu and the second fight with Tim Tszyu. Because fight one and fight two were different performances. And I applaud him. I applaud him on that. There's just something, though, no matter what, every cell in my body, I don't know if I'm just a dreamer or if I'm just a believer, but I already see it. I already see the mistakes that he's unfortunately going to be making on the 28th. In Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. I haven't just been in this game for 30 years for nothing. It's not about the talk. Boxing has always been about the deliverance in the ring. Sebastian, unlike me, he might be a man of few words, but a man of many punches. And because of that, you can guarantee that on March 28th, this pay-per-view is a not-miss fight. This matchup might already be the matchup of the year. This is my promise to you. I told you last time, if you can fly, fly to Vegas. You LA people, you can drive to Vegas. If you cannot fly and if you cannot drive, then you need to turn in to Amazon Prime. And if you don't got Prime, you better knock on your neighbor's door. And if for some reason you're still not gonna make the fight, then what I ask you to do is to pray that on March 28th, Thurman and Fundora make American boxing great again. I told you I'm a dreamer, and I believe in what I say. I told you guys, Manny Pacquiao got bunny feet and T-Rex arms. I've never told a lie. I just couldn't walk away victorious on that night. It's almost been 7 years, people. And yet here I am, stepping in the ring, ready to go to war, to continue to live the dream of a dreamer. You ready, my man? You ready? You took care of the boo-boo? You done with the boo-boo? You all good, pimp? You good? I'm happy to hear that. Are you ready? Fight people, are you ready? You already know this is a Thurman show. Who's here? They ain't bring nobody this time. This is the fight. This is the championship match that you've been waiting for. Not just some fight where the fighters can talk, but they can't deliver. I deliver better than Amazon, I promise. Promise. I'm so grateful to be back in the ring. I wanted this dream to come true last year. But sometimes patience is a virtue. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like I said, this whole camp, we got one thing on our mind, and that's hashtag Timber. Just for you, pimp. Just for you. Go ahead. You can have this. You can have this one. I got something for all y'all. Timber! I got something for all y'all. All right? I got something for all y'all.
Keith, before, show the camera real quick. Show the camera.
Oh, y'all got to see. Y'all got to see this, man. Come on. This is what you do. You got to chop the tree down. Chop the tree down. I got to make my mama and my daddy proud. March 28th. And the new. And somehow, we've already done this before. Ain't nothing new.
You good, Keith?
Thank you to all those who love and support me for many, many, many years. I'm having a beautiful training camp. I'm looking forward to training hard, boxing smart, putting on a great performance for me, for you, and to get that belt right there. God bless. Tune in. Don't miss March 28th.
Keith Thurman, ladies and gentlemen, a prize fighter, an entertainer, and I think he has politics in his future down the line if he chooses to do so. The always entertaining Keith one-time Thurman. Now let's talk about the champion. We went on to acknowledge his father, Freddie Fundora, who is here somewhere. Freddie Fundora, we want to acknowledge, and round of applause to Freddie Fundora, the father and trainer of Sebastian Fundora. along with Gabriela Fundora, who's also a world champion. This is a brother-sister combination that is a world champion. They are the first ever brother-sister tandem to be simultaneous world champions in boxing. With a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Healed from a hand injury that occurred, that delayed the original October date. But as they say in life, sometimes the best things are worth waiting for. He returns to the ring after a dominating performance over Tim Tszyu, stopping him in the 7th round. A native of Coachella, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora.
Hello, guys. Thank y'all, Heyman. Thank you, PBC. Thank you to my father and Samson. We had this fight scheduled for October, but we had a hand injury. But, we're here, we're healthy, we're ready to do it again. Do it now. And, just do what we always do and retain this title and remain world champion. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Sebastian Fundora, ladies and gentlemen. Well, one thing I can tell you about Saturday, March 28th is that this matchup between Fundora and Thurman will no doubt be entertaining. It'll be exciting. And there will be electricity at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And for those of you watching around the world on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Sebastian, let's talk about that injury. Can you tell us about what happened? It was weeks before the fight. And how are you feeling with the hand?
Well, we're feeling great, That's why we're here. This fight is a fight that everybody wanted to see. So, we're happy to provide. But it's just, one of those days that go wrong. And you can't fight it, so, you just got to roll with it and wait for the next date or wait for it to heal.
And obviously, given you another 5 months to prepare for Keith Thurman, have you been watching more tape on him, or have there been anything that you've been doing in addition, with this extra time to prepare for Thurman?
But of course, the more time, the merrier. We're ready to go. March 28th will be a great show for Fundora.
Keith, we talked about the injury. Obviously, you wanted to collide with him back in the month of October. Now it is March 28th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. But given that time to prepare and also bring in other sparring partners, do you think that that's going to benefit you?
We have some great sparring partners last time. Most of those guys will be able to come back. One of the gentlemen who was unfortunate, we'll be able to bring him in actually this time. So I think sparring is going to be really solid, and just looking forward to it, man. We were in preparation. I was starting to get used to the height and reach discrepancy, and that just makes it from the beginning of camp. I have muscle memory that I will already be activating where, to be honest, it was a very new experience. Never before in my camp was I sparring gentlemen 6'4", 6'6", in preparation for Fundora. So it being as unfamiliar this time is starting to feel a little bit more familiar, and that gives me more confidence leading up into the 28th.
So the extended training camp is going to be a benefit for Keith Thurman as we head into Saturday, March 28th.
It should be a benefit for both fighters. Like he said, it's preparation. My old original coach, Ben Getty, he used to say, you do your homework, you pass the test. So we were already getting ready for the exam, and now we just have more time, more preparation, and I plan on passing with flying colors.
Now, Keith, for you, you headlined the first ever PBC event at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in March of 2015. Now, as we are looking ahead towards March 28, 2026, is this like a full circle moment for you?
This is the beauty of boxing. This is the beauty of legacies and stories like myself, Keith One-Time Thurman. Not only did I kick off PBC at the Garden Arena, I also lost the world title in 2019 at the Garden Arena. And now, 7 years from then, do I have an opportunity to reattain another world title at the Garden Arena? This is what boxing is about. This is what history is about. And I'm just so grateful to have this be a part of my story. But the challenge is not over. We have more than a tall task waiting for us. But just like David versus Goliath, I just got to hit him with one rock, and the fight's over.
Now we'll turn our attention to the champion, Sebastian Fundora. When he says he only needs one shot to knock you out, and he obviously has that T-shirt of timber, what do you take away from that, Sebastian?
All that, it's talk, it's talk. Of course, he's an experienced fighter. Anything can happen in boxing, but that's what we train for. We train very hard for these opportunities in our life, and again, just like he said in boxing, this is what makes boxing beautiful. Anything can happen, but we train hard, and when you do that, things come out your way.
Obviously, Keith Thurman is so well accomplished. He has done so much over the course of his career, headlining event after event. You are now on that pathway as well. What would it mean for you to get a win over Keith one-time Thurman on Saturday, March 28th in Las Vegas?
It's another highlight to our career. It just shows us that we're going in the right direction, taking the right steps. So I'm grateful for this fight. I'm grateful.
It would be the greatest accomplishment of your career, Fundora. Don't lie to yourself.
Well, yeah, and then again, I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and let's keep it going.
From your standpoint, as you prepare to walk out there to the MGM Grand Garden Arena, you and your father, your sister, you're all students of the sport of boxing. But what's it like in this massive fight to be competing there at the MGM Grand Garden Arena as the headliner against Keith Thurman?
Yes, this is my third time fighting in the MGM. So first time we fought on Wilder and Fury 2, and we were the opener for TV, and that moment right there, I think that was my first pay-per-view fight, so I was pretty excited about that. Then the next one, we fought with Tim Tszyu for the second fight, and we were the co-main for Pacquiao. So that was big right there. And now we're headlining our first pay-per-view fight with a great name, and we just, again, I'm grateful. There's a lot of opportunities in life. This is one I don't want to miss.
Keith, from your standpoint, as we look at, you clearly have the experience. You've been around, as we talked about. You were going ahead and headlining cards before even Sebastian made his pro debut. He turned pro in September of 2016. You were headlining in March of 2015. How much of an experience factor is that going to play in your favor?
We don't have to count the gray hairs that are popping up here, Marcos. But, I've just been here for some time, man, and boxing's beautiful, and it's different. It's different at the top. Like I said, the stories, the legacies, this is what boxing is all about. You just heard Sebastian tell you that he was the opening fight. He was the co-main fight. And now it is his name under the bright lights. That is the headliner fight. He's living the dream of being a boxing champion, of what we spend so many hours and years of preparation for in the gym, But for me, at the same time, we had great champions, Muhammad Ali, Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Oscar De La Hoya, And to me, the real great champions are the type of champions that rise up, stumble, some fall, but only to rise up again. And that's what your man Keith one-time Thurman is trying to do right here, right now, come March 28th.
A win against Fundora, does that stamp your ticket into the Hall of Fame unequivocally?
Definitely. I'm already stamped from what I accomplished down at 147. We have a fight jacket that's already sitting in the Hall of Fame, But what I love about this fight is there are only so many fighters from my generation that are even here today, right? I mean, off the top of my head, I say Canelo, Thurman. Where's the rest? Where's the rest? And we all have our own times. there is a plethora of young talent that is taken over throughout all the divisions in boxing. And Fundora just happens to be one of them. I believe in my skills and my talent, that the type of veteran that I am, I'm 37, people. Go ahead. Make me the gatekeeper. Make me the gatekeeper. Mortal Kombat. Just like my shirt, people. I'm the final boss. Come see me. It's Thurman versus everybody. I told you. Send the contract. I told you. Stop playing. I'm getting older. I don't got no time. Line them up. You want a piece? You can get a piece. He's the towering inferno. But never has this man been on my level.
What's your response to that, Sebastian?
Oh, March 28th. We'll see what's all the buzz.
It's not talk. You have been hit. You have not gotten up off the canvas. You have experienced pain. And it will be my pleasure to help you relive that experience once again. Flashback.
That's boxing. That's boxing. You know, it happens in boxing, but it's
going to happen again in boxing.
We live and we learn, and we'll be there March 28th to show you what we're about.
You're going to learn. I'm the professor. You're going to learn, and you're not passing this course, homie.
By what he's saying, Sebastian, do you think he's underestimating you?
I think everybody does, but again, it's part of the game. Sometimes they don't think you're that guy, and sometimes they do. But whatever they say, you just got to go out there and show what you're made of.
A key component to your success, you're known as the Towering Inferno for a reason. And a part of that moniker is because of your pressure. You throw punches in bunches. You're so aggressive in gearing yourself to fight fans around the world. Do you believe that the pressure, your aggression, is going to wear down Keith Thurman? You are now 28 years of age. You would gather that you're technically in the prime of your physical career. He's mentioned he's 37. You're 9 years younger. Are you going to try to push the pace on Saturday, March 28th?
Most definitely, most definitely.
He's too scared. He ain't going to do it.
That's
he
what
ain't
we
gonna do
have,
it. He's not pushing nothing.
But,
Once he feels his power, he ain't going to do nothing. He's going to go back to the Tim Tszyu fight one. Please don't. Please stay away. Please stay away.
Either way, we still won the fight, so it is what it is.
Oh.
And
Not against
anyway,
me, my man. That shit
anyway,
ain't going to work against me. I promise. I promise. Please get a better game plan. Please. Pretty please.
Either way, we plan on becoming victorious with that fight. And, again, we'll get the job done.
Something from your skill set, from a weapon standpoint, that we have seen evolve that has benefited you has been your ability to use the jab. Before, back when you made your prime television debut back in April of 2018, you were an aggressive fighter, but fighting on the inside. Now you're using your physical attributes, your height, your jab, your distance, your reach. And do you believe that that's going to be a big factor in this fight against Keith Thurman?
It could be. It could be. It's whatever he displays. We have to think about what we're doing in that ring and what works. But depending on what it comes out, we'll be ready for it.
Keith, how do you get on the inside, and how do you deal with this height disparity? Not giving away your game plan, obviously, but...
No, I said it earlier. He will make mistakes. He will easily make mistakes. He's always... What he's learning to do, it's new. It's new to him. He has not mastered the new tactics. And he can't remaster it with 5 more months. None of that's enough time to master changing your style. He has the way he's been boxing since he was a young man. Like you said, he used to just come in. I remember when he first hit the scene, everybody said, who is this tall guy who just doesn't know how to fight on the outside? He's just constantly in on the inside. It made great fights. It was very entertaining for us, but it made other people just scratch their head like, why doesn't he just work behind the jab? He's coming along. As Tom Brown mentioned, each and every time, he's getting smarter and smarter. But there are many different meanings behind the name One Time. We have 12 rounds. He will make one mistake, And that one mistake will be one that he will not be able to recover from.
Did that win against Brock Jarvis, because you got that knockout finish, did that sort of reignite that, aggression, that nastiness that Keith Thurman had, years ago? You fought a lot of world-class competitions and guys weren't going away. You were getting the victory in these barn burner of a fights, but did that reignite the violent Keith Thurman?
You got to witness the knockout. Keith Thurman was capable of knocking out Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. I mean, everybody. The difference is, it's not what I did in the Brock Jarvis fight. It's what I did before the Brock Jarvis fight. Is that I demand within myself that we stop playing games. It's okay. You've done lots of boxing. You move around the ring. And I will use tactics. I will not stop bringing in tactics. But it's time to go back to the fundamentals of the pain game. That when I hit you, I'm coming to hurt you. And I'm only getting older, man. They don't pay overtime. There's no overtime in boxing. Let's wrap this up. 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. We can have an after party, and I can get back to my wife and kids.
So are you saying you're going to knock him out in the first half of the fight?
It's not a bad bet, people. It's not a bad bet. Money, 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 money.
Sebastian, what do you think? He's saying he's going to be able to finish you off. First of all, I want to talk about the fact that he's
Watch what happens when I touch that chin. His, man, 6'5" is not his chin, people, okay? His chin ain't up there, all right? His chin is easier to reach. Watch what happens when I hit this man's chin. I promise he's going to do a pretty little dance.
Does he have the power to knock you out, Sebastian?
In this sport,
Amen.
In this sport with these gloves, anybody could do anything. So, but just like he does, I also have the power to do it too. So, we just gonna have to see March.
They keep getting up,
we'll
though.
have to see March 28th.
You knock them down, they keep getting up, though. See, that's something that I analyze, right? You want to see a man's power. When they go down, they keep getting up. So that gives me hope. Even if I go down, the odds for the odds folks, the odds are Keith Thurman's getting back up. Believe that.
When he mentions about that, you're going to make that one mistake. How do you make sure that you don't make that mistake, and how do you apply your pressure to make sure that he makes mistakes?
Just in that, you just do it. There's no mind games in this sport. There's just doing it. Some people, when they get into that ring, they don't do what they're supposed to do. But that's the game plan. Just to go in there and do what I'm supposed to do.
We've heard about what Keith Thurman wants to do to you, and he says he's going to be able to finish you off in the first half of the fight. But how does Sebastian Fundora, the towering Inferno, how do you envision this fight going down on Saturday, March 28th?
A great victory. If he plans to come in those first 6 rounds or the whole fight, we're no strangers to fighting or fighting on the outside, inside, whatever it is. I think we definitely have enough experience to get the job done.
We've seen you be able to systematically wear down your opponents with your volume, with your jabs, and you just continue to pick up steam as you come along in the fight. It's almost like an avalanche. Do you think that he can deal with that kind of avalanche and with that kind of aggression as you get into the championship rounds, if it makes it to that point, 10, 11, 12?
We'll see. March 28th, we'll see.
A high-contact fight, Keith Thurman, does that favor you or does that favor him? Because both of you guys like to stand and bang during the course of a fight.
Say that again.
A high-contact fight.
Oh, yeah. A high-contact fight, he would have to be making contact and not allowing me to make contact, okay? I don't need a high-contact fight. My name is Keith. One time, Thurman. What do you want? You want how many punches? You want punches and bunches? Man, we can do it, combinations here and there. That's not what I'm looking for, people. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one time. Man, I want to put them out, nighty-night, night, bring the pillows, sleep tight, I mean, and the new. You know, we're trying to make history, man. Trying to make history, and we want to have a ripple effect throughout the world of boxing. You already know how this game is. You are only as good as your last fight. Well, my last fight is about to be this fight. This fight. 30 years in the game. Keith Thurman is going to reestablish his name on March 28th by demolishing the Towering Inferno.